Well, good evening and welcome to another episode of Investigate Everything. I'm your host, Brian O'Shea. Let me check on the next game really quickly. Okay, so right now it looks like we got New York Knicks 62, and the half is about to end. I'm going to get in trouble for doing this, but I'm going to go and share the end of the half with you.
And drives again, goes inside, stops, leans, pass to Towns, layup, and it's stopped. There will be a jump ball unless they call a foul. Couldn't hear a whistle.
How is that not a foul?
I believe they are calling it.
Okay. It was so loud in here you couldn't hear a whistle.
So Towns will shoot free throws.
Great up fake. He gets both Fox and Wemby to bite. And there you see De'Aaron Fox with that slap across his wrist.
Fox's first foul. Towns 7 points. And 4 boards, you see the numbers. First couple of games outplayed Victor Wembanyama. And has become a playmaker and excellent defense. Halftime presented by Kia. They are here at Madison Square Garden. Great to have Ernie, Shaq, Kenny, Charles, and Draymond Green joining the crew.
They got Draymond Green up there?
Yes, sir.
Oh, my God. And Charles just getting real friendly with Ernie.
They know who the boss is.
They know who the boss is. They know who's running the show.
Knicks, meanwhile, have taken, this will be their 14th free throw of the first half. Spurs have taken 8. And once again, it's been a very physical game. Jeremy Sohan's in for defense on the final as Towns knocks it down, the former Spur. Knicks with 42 points here in the second quarter. Fox to Wemby. Wemby drives on Towns, gets inside, stops, turns, falling away. Short. And the first half comes to an end. Knicks on a 10-1 run.
Okay, there you go. I'll admit it, I'm not a big NBA fan. I like the NBA, I just don't really watch it. But it's all the rage here in New York. So I'm currently in Brooklyn, down in the Prospect Lefferts area, and I know a lot of you are probably watching the game if you are NBA fans. So if you are and you took a second to join me, I really appreciate it. But it's a really festive city right now, all across the city. So from Brooklyn to Manhattan, amazingly, my daughter got tickets to the game, so she's there tonight with her friends. I don't know how she pulled that one off. She's very resourceful. But what I wanted to talk about is it really, really pisses me off that so many people are just politicizing the fact that President Trump is at the game. So, first of all, every president goes to their hometown city's games. And President Trump is more of a New Yorker than most New Yorkers. People forget that President Trump was born in New York and lived there for 74 years until 2019 and kind of helped build the skyline. Okay, so he's done more for that city in this country than pretty much all the people. Well, that's easy. I mean, all the people that are raging against him. But anyways, it gets me mad because it's like sports should be off limits to politics. Okay, plain and simple. I mean, if we really wanted to press the issue, I could go in tonight and start looking up the investors in the Knicks, foreign ownership. We could talk about the Brooklyn Nets, who are owned by Joe Tsai, whose real name is Kai Chunkin. He was born in mainland China, and in my opinion, and based on my research, is definitely in the inner circle, probably of the CCP, probably one of the biggest agent provocateurs in our country right now. The man has 4 passports. A lot of people don't know that. He has 4 passports. I was lucky enough to do some research for the author Peter Schweitzer a long time ago, and part of that research included Joe Tsai. So we could go into all that. I'm not going to, because that's not the point. The point is, Donald Trump has every right to go to that game, and Donald Trump should be at the game, because Donald Trump is a New York Knicks fan. Okay, and he's an American citizen who's a New York Knicks fan. Okay, Mamdani, where was he? Where was he 10 years ago? He wasn't even in this country. Dan Goldman, he lives in D.C. The guy was born in D.C. Yes, he represents New York, but that guy probably has never watched a basketball game in his life, or maybe he has. But I doubt he understood it. So let me, and then there were some people booing him. I'm going to play some of these clips from Twitter. Some people booing them, but in my opinion, it didn't seem, wasn't... it didn't seem that loud to me. Let me just show you. Because I can tell you, I live part-time in New York. I don't consider myself a New Yorker because I don't vote here. I vote in... Actually, I am registered to vote here, but not in the city. But I was born in Englewood, New Jersey, but we lived in the Bronx at the time. The only reason I was born in Englewood, New Jersey is because when my mom went into labor, they happened to be driving through Bergen County, my parents. And so I'm the only one of 9 O'Sheas who was born in New Jersey. But we were, lived in New York my early childhood, then we moved to Maine. And then I moved all over the world because I was in the military for a long time. But anyways, the point is anyone has the right to go, especially the president. If he wants to go to a game, he goes to a game. So the problem is, and I don't think liberals are doing themselves any favors with this. Real sports fans, and I am a real NFL fan, and I am a big time MLS fan. Real sports fans, they watch sports to watch sports. It's what they do. My son, he plays football. He's playing to play football. He's not playing to make a political statement. It's only people that pretend to like sports politicize sports. And they try to ruin it for everyone else. Okay? And it's not just the liberals. It's what I've come to name the Massiecists, because I don't really like MAGA Reich. I don't want to blemish MAGA with anything related to those Marjorie Taylor Greene slime balls and Ryan Matta and all these fools. I call them the Massiecists. And I haven't even checked because I wanted to do this live for you, but now's not the time. Now is not the time. It's like when the Democrats wanted to make the 250th birthday of the United States a time to reflect on all the bad things the United States has done. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine having your 100th birthday party, not your 250th, because no one can, and it becomes a roast? Like all the things you did bad. I mean, so what I want people to know is, like, first of all, Donald Trump going to the Knicks game, the majority of New Yorkers, they're fine with it. They love Donald Trump. I live in I think they call this like Little Caribbean, the neighborhood we live in here. And I went out today, got some incredible chicken steaks, and pretty much the entire neighborhood is Jamaican, Dominican, Haitian, from Ghana, from all over the place. But it's a very, very, very first and second generation immigrant neighborhood, and they love Trump. You find American flags everywhere here. The only places that you find the "we hate Donald Trump" and "we hate America" and "we love Karl Marx," I'm not kidding you, you've seen my other videos. The only time you find those things in Brooklyn is the closer you get to places like Park Slope, which is where all the little rich trust fund babies live. All the little Mondami supporters. In Brooklyn, they live in Park Slope. So think of it this way. It's like, I'll throw up a map for you. The further you get into working class neighborhoods like I'm in, yeah, you're going to see a lot of national pride. You know, they just had the Ghana's Independence Day celebration yesterday, which, as I understand, was for the most part pretty festive. They did their Juneteenth thing the other night, or I guess they didn't do that. They did something the other night, but anyways, these are working class people. You may recall I put up the tweet, and I'll try to find it. When Mondami was in the mayor's race, in my neighborhood, they had it plastered everywhere, "Get the F out of our city." I say that in case kids are watching. And let me just put this up here, okay? So let's go through some of these clips so I can just vent. I don't have a point tonight, guys. I just wanted to visit with you and say hello, and it's been a while, and Naomi was in the hospital, so I do apologize. We were both out of pocket, but she's good. Okay. Oh, yeah. So there's my cousin Ernie right there. That's my actual cousin. O'Shea Watch Party. Remember watching the 80s Rams Super Bowl at your house? I do remember that. Amazingly, I remember that. I also recall, Ernie, that my favorite movie of all time, The Last Boy Scout, I went with you and your family. Ernie's older than me. It was in the theater, The Last Boy Scout with Bruce Willis. Best one-liners of any movie ever made. But let's go through this, okay? And let's just hear it for yourselves. Start it over.
Last gleaming, whose brush stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights, where the ramparts we watch.
I won't even comment on the players not putting their hand over their heart. Let me just hope that they don't know they're supposed to. That's Kai Trump. I think that's his granddaughter. That's super nice that she's there. And what a great thing to take his granddaughter to. This, you know, I've come to really like Donald Trump a lot. I didn't know much about him in the first term, except for the show. But I've come to like him a lot. We did get to meet him before the 2024 election. We went out to Bedminster by invitation of Chabad, by the way. I just, you know, from every one of my friends in Secret Service to those who worked with him in the first term to the current term, everyone really likes this guy. The only people that don't like this guy are the people that tend not to like anything. Okay? They tend not to like anything. I'm going to cough. Hold. Okay, sorry about that. So the one that really pissed me off, and I shouldn't let it. I really shouldn't. But okay, well let's look at Hakeem Jeffries. This just came up on my scroll here. Let's check this one out. Okay, here we go. I'll play the other clip again. I just realized I didn't have it up on the screen. Here we go.
Say about Donald Trump going to the Knicks game, and you know, at this point, it's game day. And I think Knicks fans just want to enjoy Game 3, the first home game that we've had in 27 years. But it also is not clear to me that Donald Trump is a big Knicks fan. I mean, does this guy even know the difference between Karl Rove and Karl Anthony Towns? I don't think so. He's just injecting himself into the NBA Finals because he always has to bring the MAGA circus into town. And that's unfortunate. Thank you, everyone. Things to say about Donald Trump going to the Knicks game.
What a moron. So here we got Hakeem Jeffries saying, oh, bringing the MAGA thing. See, politicizing it. Okay, politicizing it. So let's take a look here. I'm just researching here. Just seeing, has he actually been to a Knicks game before? Pulling the research now in the meantime. Okay. All right. So let me see. Okay, so he was actually frequently here. I went to Grok for this. Hope you guys don't mind. All right, so let's just play the Jeffries clip again, just so you could hear it.
Say about Donald Trump going to the Knicks game, and at this point it's game day, and I think Knicks fans just want to enjoy Game 3, the first home game that we've had in 27 years. But it also is not clear to me that Donald Trump is a big Knicks fan. I mean, does this guy even know the difference between Karl Rove and Karl Anthony Towns? I don't think so. He's just injecting himself into the NBA Finals because he always has to bring the MAGA circus into town.
Okay. So who's injecting themselves? He's having a press conference about Donald Trump going to the Knicks game. Who's injecting themselves? Hakeem Idiot Jeffries is. All right, so let's see here. Let's share this tab here. All right. So I asked Grok, and by the way, I've got the super Grok. I like it a lot. I do normally double check everything I pull up on here, but I didn't have time to. All right, because I just called it up. So I asked it, how many Knicks games has Donald Trump been to? There's not an official lifetime total, as celebrity attendance at regular season NBA games isn't centrally... Okay, got it. Getty Image Photos Archive document at least 15 Knicks games attended by Donald Trump between 1991 and 2014. 15. Let's see what they are. He was a frequent courtside regular at Celebrity Row, of course, at Madison Square Garden during the 1990s and into the 2000s and 2010s. Often with high-profile dates or guests, including Marla Maples, Melania, his son Eric, JFK Jr., Darryl Strawberry, and Howard Stern. Wow, how times have changed, huh? NBA Finals, Marla Maples. Eastern Conference Finals, Game 2 with Melania. Multiple regular season playoff games, 1990s, 2010s. Heat versus the Heat, Bulls, Pacers, Celtics, Bucks. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver has said he attended many Knicks games with him in the old days and described Trump as a big Knicks fan. Okay, the NBA Commissioner Adam Silver described Trump as a big Knicks fan. Now, what's funny about Idiot Jeffries there, Hakeem Jeffries, he said he doesn't know the difference between Karl Rove and whoever else that was. I don't know the NBA, so I'm not going to pretend to. I think Karl Rove was the only Karl he could think of, the only comparison he could think of. That's very, very clear. Oh, wow. Elliot Gould right there. Look at this. So there's Donald Trump there. This is, God, that's way back in the 90s. Man. Recent history. His attendance dropped off significantly around 2014. Multiple reports note that tonight's 2026 game was his first Knicks game at MSG in more than a decade. Probably was. Adding tonight's appearance brings the documented total to at least 16 Knicks games. Okay, you get the point. Obviously, he's a Knicks fan. Bottom line, dozens of games over the decades is a reasonable inference given how... I've been to one NBA game in my life, okay? I've been to 2 Giants games, and I'm a Giants fan. He's been to 16 Knicks games. 16. So just out of curiosity, let me shut this off here. And their bottom line says dozens of games over the decades is a reasonable inference given how often he was courtside in his peak celebrity years, but the verifiable photo record count sits at least 15 pre-2015, plus tonight, number 16. No exhaustive list exists. I don't need to go into it. There's something else I want to do here. Okay, don't worry, I'm not going to look at Grok all night. Okay, so got a couple comments in here. So Ernie, God, I hope this is the same Ernie. Are you toggling between Rumble and YouTube? I'm glad you're on Rumble. Think they lost to the Steelers. He's referring to his earlier comment about watching the 80s Rams Super Bowl at our house. God, that was a long time ago. Okay. The dial-up Democrat, Slow Jeffries. Yeah, he's a moron. Hakeem Jeffries knows nothing. He's a lying loser. Hey, Angels sing. Oh, that's nice. Angels singing too. Welcome. And I agree with you. And here's the thing about Hakeem Jeffries. This guy is such a loser that the freaking crazy rioters, I don't know if you remember this, like in 2024, tried to burn down his office in Brooklyn. It's like, what's he doing? And this was like the pro-Hamas people. Hakeem Jeffries, I'm pretty sure, is a Muslim. Okay, and he still panders to these people. It's disgusting. Yes, Carl Anthony Towns. Thank you. Yeah, Carl Anthony Towns. Yeah, I don't know anything about basketball. I'm too short. I never played. Naomi actually plays a good game of basketball. An amazing game of basketball. It blew my mind the first time I saw it. But yeah, I think Karl Rove was the only Carl he could think of to compare to Carl Anthony Towns. Now I know who it is. So, okay, now, just out of curiosity, how many Knicks games has Hakeem Jeffries attended? All right, it's pulling it up now. So, and again, I know it seems kind of petty what I'm doing. That's not the point. The point is to constantly underline these people's hypocrisy. None of them are sports fans. I guarantee it. Okay, here we go. All right. You're going to like this. Okay. Let me share that again. Is this the one? There we go. All right. So I asked, how many Knicks games has Hakeem Jeffries attended? There's no publicly available or documented count for how many Knicks games Hakeem Jeffries has attended. Unlike Donald Trump, whose courtside appearances in the 90s and 2000 up to 2010s are backed by Getty Images photo archives, at least 15 Knicks games from 1991 to 2014, plus notable playoff finals games, so 16 games as we went over. There are no equivalent reports, photo records, or articles tracking or quantifying Jeffries' personal appearance history. What we know: Jeffries is a vocal Knicks supporter who has worn team gear, including a pink or white Knicks hat, in recent appearances, and commented positively on the team's success. He has not attended tonight's NBA Finals Game 3. He stated on CNN that he is not planning to go and criticize President Trump's attendance. So Hakeem Jeffries, the big Knicks fan, the big New Yorker, criticized Donald Trump for going and supporting the team that Donald Trump's clearly a fan of, with 16 games he's gone to, while Jeffries wasn't going. Okay, and he's saying he's injecting himself. You saw the clip. No specific past games, season tickets, courtside appearances, or totals are mentioned in news coverage or public records. Searches for his attendance history turn up only recent political commentary around Trump's presence at MSG, Madison Square Garden. As a longtime New York politician and self-described fan, he almost certainly watches games. Okay, so now Grok is kind of covering for him. Watches games and may attend occasionally, but there's no verifiable number. My guess, he's never been to a game. Zero confirmed public records exist for a specific total or even a handful of notable games for Hakeem Jeffries, and he has confirmed he won't be at tonight's games. He probably doesn't know the difference between the Brooklyn Nets and the New York Knicks. Okay, wasn't great, but I took a shot. All right. Okay, so a good evening, I Love Music. Good to see you. Always a pleasure. Talking about hypocrisy over this NBA thing and people politicizing sports. Remember when they did that to the NFL? remember when the woke, whatever they are, the Marxists, when they, like, people were taking a knee and all this BS over the BLM scam and the 1619 fictitious history of the United States. That's when I stopped watching the NFL for almost the entire pandemic. I'm like, I can't do it. I can't do it. People want sports to be left alone. And here's proof of that. Here's the proof of the power of sports. Okay? Look what happened with the pandemic. People are going along with it. They're like, it could be disease. We'll listen to what the government has to say. Anthony Fauci seems credible. That was the beginning, right? And then they tried to tell people they couldn't attend sporting events. And then what happened? People just stopped doing the staying inside, all that nonsense. Now, people were doing that before then. We certainly were not listening to any of it. But en masse, people finally said, hey, wait a minute. BLM can be out there rioting in the streets because it was declared a public health emergency, but we can't attend our college football games. And that's when nerds were in charge of the pandemic, people that don't like sports. They didn't realize, we just made a boo-boo, okay? And many other foul-ups. But the point is, sports really, really, really brings a city like New York, which is very, very against itself half the time. It's borough by borough. It's neighborhood by neighborhood. I'm not saying they're like fighting and everything, but it's not like one big unified city all year long. It certainly is not, obviously. But what I noticed with the Knicks game, and I happened to be in Manhattan most of last week because Naomi was up at the hospital. Even the nurses, the doctors, everyone was talking about the Knicks. And I'm like, wow, that's really good. I didn't grow up in a sports city. I grew up in Maine. I was only in New York till I was like 6. But I was like, this is really kind of cool. And then when I walked down the streets here in the little Caribbean neighborhood in Prospect, Lefferts, and Brooklyn, my God, man, everyone's out on the street watching the game on their TVs, on their computers, people in the middle of the sidewalks, people up there on their, porches. They still have porches here. And, I'd go for a walk and I'd say, hey, how's the game? And they're like, come on up. Okay, come on up. And that's how it is. And that's only because of sports, because people can put their differences aside and get behind their team. And it's nice to see this happening because I'm pretty sure, Ernie, when was the last time, the Knicks had there's some big historical precedent. And for those of you just joining, I don't know anything about the NBA. I just don't follow basketball, but what I am following is the cultural impact this game is having, this series is having on New Yorkers, and it's nice to see. I haven't seen New York this happy in a long time. Actually, the last time I saw Madison Square Garden this happy and this unified, it's when Trump appeared there right before the election, and that's the truth. Okay? They thought they'd pull a fast one on Trump and say, you got to stay in town because they changed the court schedule and all that. He was smart. He just went borough to borough meeting people. People love him. Okay, and they do. All right, so then Ernie says, sounds like a bandwagon jumper to me. Hakeem Jeffries he's referring to. Absolutely. Okay, and thanks, Ernie. They won so the Knicks haven't won since 1973. They won in 73 and in finals 99. Got it. Thanks. But it's a unifying thing, and it's just so nice to see. It's so nice to see. I love it. Now, unfortunately, I think the World Cup is going to be a different story because one thing about soccer, people do tend to bring their politics to the game. It's just been my experience. I've gone to a lot of soccer games, and it's just been my experience. Like when you go to Major League Soccer games, I'm a big fan of DC United. I used to live there. I was a member of La Bada Brava, which was like the fan club. They were wild. Everyone's bringing their own country's flags, and you got 15 different countries represented in one team. So it's not quite the same. So it's gonna be FIFA's gonna be interesting. And I was reading the security measures that they're taking for that. I think FIFA is going to be a big problem security wise. But anyways, let's look at some of these other comments here. Now, the guy that I cannot stand the most is Dan Goldman. What a freaking loser. Let me see here. Let me just get to him. Him, I think I actually marked and bookmarked. So let's take a look. Okay. Now, what you're going to see is a lot of stuff filtering onto X where people went as a group and their group was booing, and they're going to say, look, all you can hear is boos. Okay. Okay, so this guy, man, this guy is a total loser. I don't know if you guys know who Dan Goldman is, but okay, let's get there at the latest. And if you ever want to have a really good time, I haven't been on X a lot, but I gotta say, like lately, I just had to check in on it. I was offline all. Okay. Now keep in mind, Dan Goldman was also one of the idiots who was saying that there was a hunger strike in the ICE facility. Here, let me share this tab with you. All right, so Dan Goldman thought ICE thought they could get away with breaking the law in broad daylight. They were wrong. This morning, I confronted ICE agents outside an immigration courtroom to remind them that they are prohibited from arresting anyone who appears as required at immigration. They didn't seem to care and arrested a father. So why would he post that? He's trying to sound all tough, and then he says that they basically ignored his ass. Okay. Our volunteer coalition immediately brought the family to my office's triage center, and my team sprung into action. Okay, guys, we got to investigate that. Within minutes, one of my staff members demanded his belongings from ICE while... Who's this? Okay, well, he's laying out, like, who all the conspirators are. We appreciate that, Dan Dummy. Aggressive congressional oversight and legal yeah, right. Okay. So, just blocked my account. Okay, so, all right. I want to get to the part when he's talking about the Knicks. Like, I don't know why Goldman is just getting on this bandwagon at this point. He's getting hammered right now by one of his opponents, and the DSA, or the Democratic Socialists of America, they hate him. Okay, they're not Democrats. For those that you don't know, they are not Democrats, but they hate this guy. They've got signs all over my neighborhood showing like the money he gets from AIPAC. Personally, I got no problem with AIPAC. I actually love Israel. As allies, I was in Middle Eastern focused units in the military, and we played really well with the Israelis. And a lot of the Arab, mainly the Gulf states. But anyways, so he's making a big thing. Now, keep in mind that they're talking about this immigration thing, but New Yorkers, they're having trouble getting a lot of stuff they need because a lot of it's gone to illegal aliens. So this moron, he's just totally barking up the wrong tree, and he's not even really a New Yorker. Okay, so let me see. I mean, Dan Goldman's basically getting his ass kicked right now, but I just want to get to the, I saw his Knicks thing the other day. Like, seriously, like, he's doing a playbook from, like, the Biden era. Like, everyone knows this guy's full of crap. All right. Yeah. No one cares. Oh my gosh, this guy. We're getting close, guys. Don't worry. I just got to show you this stupid thing he said about Trump going to the Knicks, and then show you the responses here. Did I miss it? Hold on. Dan Goldman and Knicks. Oh my gosh, he's such a loser.
Like, who do you like? Who's your favorite player? Brunson? Cat has been amazing, huh? OG's been good.
Dude, come on.
Watching the games.
Come on.
Staying up and watching the games?
He does not even look. I wonder what would happen if one of those
Who do
kids
you like? Who's your
asked
favorite
him
player?
who he likes.
Brunson? Cat has been amazing, huh? OG's been good.
He's not in Manhattan.
Watching the games.
That's not Manhattan.
Staying up and watching the games?
Yeah, yesterday.
Yesterday? Yeah, you like, who do you like? Who's your favorite player?
What's this from? Yesterday, there was no game yesterday, kid. Okay, yeah, this one. Here we go. You're going to love this. And I just got to show you the comments from New Yorkers after he posted this. Ready?
Stay away from game 3. You know Donald Trump does not have a lot of luck in New York courts. And so we are asking him, as Knicks fans, stay away from game 3. Don't jinx the run. You will not be welcome. No one will want you there. We will have to wait in line forever just to get in so you can have your little glory moment. Please stay away. Don't jinx the Knicks. We know Donald Trump does not have a...
Okay, first of all, maybe not wear the pink polo shirt to make your point. Second of all, is this guy, like, is he a hostage? Like, all of his latest videos have been, like, hostage videos. And you always have to wait in line at Madison Square Garden. It's just insane. And let's not forget, this is 9/11 land. Like, I'm glad there's the kind of security that's there tonight should be there every night for a large gathering of people in New York City or any major city. It absolutely should. And I guarantee, God, I wish I could be there right now. I wasn't going to brave that traffic. I mean, just keep in mind, even though I'm in Brooklyn, for those of you that don't know New York, going from central Brooklyn to Madison Square Garden, that's like an hour, however way you want to go. I can do it in 30 minutes in the morning and no traffic, but it's a madhouse right now. There's no way I was going up there, not without tickets. But, you know, he's like, stay out of Manhattan. So I just want to share with you the responses to this are great. So, of course, mine pops up first because my feed. I said Donald Trump's way more of a New Yorker than you pencil neck. Besides, you're born in D.C. You're such a... Sorry, I was in a mood. I hate the DSA, but I hope they get their wish and get you kicked out of office. Yeah, they want him bad. You're an idiot, Daniel, and a pathologist. Is it Dan Gilman? Yeah, Dan Gilman. You're an idiot, Daniel, and a pathological liar. Why don't you jinx this? Who is we? His name has been all over the city for decades. You mean nothing. You mean nothing to New York, responding to Dan Goldman. New York needs all the help it can get right now. Yeah, that's a good point. So just last night, there was a stabbing. Like 5 people got stabbed at Madison Square Garden or outside Madison Square Garden. So yeah, New York does need all the help it can get right now. And the citizens of New York want the help. Okay, I'm sorry, it was at Penn Station, which is right near Madison Square Garden. It's like adjacent. And that's happening all the time. Like, I have this, I don't know if you guys have this, maybe I could call it up on the screen. It's called the Citizen app. So what I do is, like, I have this app on my phone. I think it's in your cities too. But I have the Citizen app, and I take the dog for a lot of walks because I try to get, like 15,000 steps a day. And, it could get kind of boring sometimes, so what I do is the Citizen app tells me where some crime or something's happening, and I walk in that direction. And it's kind of cool. Like, I've actually reported on ambulances and a fire and a big protest last week. So yeah, you can see the responses didn't go quite the way Dan thought it would go. Will this be rigged too, Daniel? But not bomb dummy. Go off, fella. Cute shirt, pink is so manly on you. On behalf of New York Knicks fans, how about the Jew hater Mondani? He's okay, right? Stop the crap. Okay, so you see it didn't really go quite the way they thought it would. All right, good message there. probably AI, but still. All right, so that's Dan Goldman. What a moron. And I loved him when he's talking to those kids. He looks just so awkward. He just looks so awkward. It's just sad to see. All right. I could do this all night, but we won't go into it. But the point is, even if Donald Trump didn't go to a bunch of different Knicks games, and obviously he's a New York Knicks fan, like I stated earlier in the show. Yeah, you're right. Thanks, Therese Roy. So, good evening. And by the way, everyone gets a chance on the screen. I Love Music's back. Hey, you've been coming a lot. I really appreciate it. Okay, sounds like bandwagon jumping. We talked about that. Yep, gave me the stats on that. A Nepo baby from DC, just go away. Yeah, exactly. And Ernie, by the way, is a New Yorker, so he can say these things. All right. Hi, Brian. Trump has a right to be there. Every American has a right to be there. It doesn't matter. Even Hakeem Jeffries has a right to be there. Okay? Even Dan Idiot Goldman has a right to be there. This whole thing of like what people can and can't do, it's really, really dangerous. It's really dangerous. It's this constant dividing of Americans. And you could see today what happened, or from the start of the Knicks series, what happened is all of the little idiots are like really hating the fact that like New Yorkers themselves are not hating on anything except maybe the Spurs. But it's really been a unifying thing here in New York City. I'm in New York City. I can tell you, I'm walking in some of the worst neighborhoods every day, which I quite enjoy. But people aren't hating on Trump. They're not even thinking about Donald Trump or DC or anything. What a lot of people on X don't realize, especially X and Blue Sky. Blue Sky and X, they've just become these big hate festivals. People are busy. Like, people are busy. They just want things fixed. People, and I could tell you guys right now, there's not some majority of New Yorkers that voted for Mamdani. It's just that of the people that voted, which was unfortunately, a very small number, because there's a lot of things going on with the elections in New York. But the thing is, most people are working. Most people can't do it. Most people can't get up there. You turn on that Citizen app, and there's a smoking subway station every single day. I mean, there's a million reasons, but the percentage of actual New Yorkers that voted, unfortunately, was small for the mayoral race. So what I'm saying is what they did in New York is they packed New York with the illegals, packed it with the illegals. And then you have all the college kids as well. And then they bring in all their friends, okay? And they don't require ID in New York to vote. So people go and vote. And then you get this knucklehead Mamdani Mamdani, whatever his name is, as the mayor. Okay? And no, he didn't balance the budget. He just borrowed from the state. Let me see. As awkward as Elizabeth Warren drinking a beer. Oh my God, yeah, that was terrible. Or saying she was Native American. California and New York are captured. How do we break free? Well, that's a great question. The only way to break free for both New York and, and California. In California, honestly, I've always thought it should be two states. I really do. Eastern and Western Sierras. That's what I've always thought. Because what happens is you have the population density in Los Angeles, San Francisco, not so much, but Los Angeles, huge population. Most people who came across the border illegally were actually registered by the people, like Catholic Charities, Jewish families, Tent Foundation or Tent Organization, Tent Partnership. So from when J.J. Carroll and I were reporting on border issues in our show, Unrestricted Invasion, they were actually registering these people as Democrats as they came in. They don't know, and they're like, sign here. Okay, and so what happens is you have these huge density populations like New York City and L.A., but anyone that knows California knows that, like, and my daughter grew up in like Susanville and outside of Bakersfield, these big ranch agricultural areas. These are all Republicans. These are all gun-toting, horse-riding Republicans. Most of California does not think like LA. That's why I get mad at people, especially people who are conservatives, when they're like, oh, screw California. They wanted this. No, they didn't want it. But what you have is you have this artificial packing of cities with people that will vote Democrat, okay, either wittingly or unwittingly. And that decides the fate of the entire giant state. Same thing in New York. If you look at the density population of New York City compared to the rest of New York, like we have a place up in Columbia County. And if you look at some of these counties up in upstate New York, a lot of them are red. Okay, the place I live up in the woods, you see, it's like people are doing target practice outside their backyards. Everyone is working class, tons of agriculture. They don't, they're not on board with how the direction of votes that happen in New York City. And then in New York City itself, if you take Staten Island, if you take Brooklyn, parts of Queens, the Bronx, these, I'm not going to say they're red, but they're definitely potentially purple because most of them are working class. The problem in these cities, too, is there's not any good ground game by Republicans. Now, I got to give it to Spencer Pratt. That's a good ground game. That's the best ground game I've seen by a Republican in a deep blue area. And I really hope they're serious about investigating the California election, because there's no way that no mail-in votes came in for Spencer Pratt, and then all of a sudden people decided to go for Rahman, the socialist, the DSA-backed person. And I think Karen Bass, I don't think she sees the danger of what's going on here. They might be coming after her. Okay, if Rahman gets in, it's an obvious cheat. But, the Democrats are cheering this on, but the Democrats don't realize what's happening. The Democratic Socialists of America, the DSA, they're out to destroy the Democratic Party. They're using it because they're not a party, okay? But they're using it to get into seats, get into places of power, and then they get rid of the Democrats. They hate the DNC. You could go to the DSA website and they say it. Let's use that party to get where we want to get. Then we will take it over from the inside. That's the goal. And yeah, I love music. You are absolutely right. My man, all of my ex-in-laws are like cow bosses and cowboys for like 5 Dot Ranch. Many of the California like big beef industry, everything, very, 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 very conservative. And that's what a lot of people don't realize. So let's never say, screw that state, that's what they wanted, because unless you've lived in these states, I've lived in California, and I've lived on the rural areas. Okay, no, I will never give up these states. I will never let this country become a perforated state. I live in Massachusetts and New York. I ain't going anywhere. Okay. My buddy Jimmy Wagner down there, he formed the Donald J. Trump Club here in Brooklyn. He's not going anywhere. He's running candidates. And, if at a minimum we're going to be a thorn in people's sides, I don't care. I will never cede these wonderful states to a bunch of Marxists, ever. Okay? And people should know that. These states are not stupid people that are voting for, believe in the lies of Mamdani and Karen Bass. It's just that these states have been rigged with legal actions. Like in California, ballot harvesting's legal. Someone can show up at old age homes. They're collecting all the ballots. There's also a thing that happens in California where they're actually harvesting ballots from the waste management companies. So basically, people throw out their mail, it gets sorted, and they're setting aside all the mail-in ballots. Not the ones that are filled out, but like the blank ballots. And they're filling those out too, okay? And I know we are not voting for idiots. It is rigged. We know. Same thing in New York. It's rigged, Okay, it's rigged. I voted in New York for the last presidential election. I was like aggressively trying to give them my ID, and they wouldn't take it. And I filmed the whole thing. I gotta put that out. I'm like, no, don't you want to know who I am? And they're like, sir, you can put that away. You just have to sign. And I'm like, do you have a copy of my signature? They're like, well, we'll verify that. I go, but if you don't have another copy of my signature, what are you verifying it against? Like that it looks like an honest signature? I mean, it's totally rigged. I love music. You're 100%. All right, so let's move on here. And I just wanted to, while I'm at it, I just wanted to show you, like, all right. Oh, yeah. Oh, look, sorry. Here's another one. You ready? You're going to love this one. I don't know who this lady is, but she looks like she has a lot of followers. Oh, this one really got me. This is really what set me off today. I think it was this post. Post with replies. Yeah, this lady here. Oh, what a loser. All right. I've never even heard of this chick. Okay, but...
Hey guys, I just want you to take a look at this. This is what Madison Square Garden looks like tonight because frickin' Donald Trump is selfishly deciding to go to the Knicks game despite the fact that the Knicks owner, James Dolan, is the worst. He, quote, invited Trump to come. Nobody wants you there, Donald. No one. No one. Why are you ruining the NBA Finals for New Yorkers? New Yorkers hate you. You have terrible numbers in New York. They know who you are. Leave the Knicks alone. You know, why? This is what happens anytime the president travels. There's security apparatuses that they have to put up that shuts out regular folks. There's been energy and a vibe in New York. Everyone, those of us who are long-suffering Knicks fans, have been waiting 27 years for the finals and 53 years to win a championship. And you have to go and be a selfish jackass and ruin it. Why? No one wants you there. I hope they boo the roof off.
Okay, so let me see. Who is this person? Tara Setmeyer. I did respond to her. So let's take a peek. Let's take a peek at who she is. So Tara Setmeyer, huh? So born apparently in New York. Oh, wait a minute. Let's see. I said, shit, he's more of a New Yorker than you are. Hell, he lived there for 74 years and was born here. You were born here but raised in New Jersey, and now you live and work in Virginia, and it's true. Her own site. Let me see. Setmeyer is a nationally recognized political analyst, democracy advocate, and nonprofit executive with more than 2 decades of experience across blah, 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 blah. Her focus is on public policy, accountability, and protection of democratic norms, however she defines those, and institutions. Ms. Setmeyer currently serves as resident scholar in University of Virginia Center for Politics, where she collaborated on the Emmy-nominated PBS documentary Dismantling Democracy. Anyone that wants to take this one, investigate it, give me a good report, you could come on the show and present it. These are great leads here. When people like this jump in, these are great leads. Prior to joining UVA, she was a resident fellow at Harvard's Institute of Politics. Now, I don't know. Let me see. Ernie, what do you think? UVA, is that New York? University of Virginia. No, it's Virginia. I love music. Let me ask you a question. Harvard, is that in New York? No. Donnie girl, welcome. Good to see you. Is Harvard in New York? No, it's not. No, because it's in Massachusetts. So this moron, and not only that, she's, I don't know if you guys caught what she's wearing, but let me just put this up again. Don't worry, I won't subject you to her horrible voice. But it's almost like she's obviously in Virginia. Now check this out. And it's like she couldn't find any Knicks gear. So she just grabbed anything that looked New York. Take a close look at what she's wearing.
For New Yorkers.
There we go. So she's got a random, the right colors, but it's a New York hat. Okay. And she's wearing a New York Giants lanyard. Okay. So she basically decided to do this video. She's trying to present like she's in New York, but if you look in her sunglasses there, it looks like she's on Route 267 in Western Virginia. It's all, and you're probably right. Yeah, Ernie says she just bought that. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it was like the only New York stuff she could find. What a loser. If she were in any other country, she would be arrested for talking about the president that way. You're right, I love music, and that's what a lot of people don't realize. I hear all these idiots like Jimmy D-Bag Dore on Tucker Carlson the other day, and Jimmy Dore is just going on and on about how great China is. It's like Jimmy Dore moved to China, dude. Seriously, no one thinks you're funny. You're not funny. You're an idiot. And you're spooning with Tucker Carlson now. No one wants you. So there's that. All right. Okay. It's sponsor time. You know why it's sponsor time? Because sponsors are what keep this show alive. And so we're going to talk about my sponsors. Hope you guys don't mind, but here we go. My favorite sponsor, I love them all. Put up the banner. But one that's been really, really great. I've just always enjoyed the wellness companies. So here is the banner on the bottom. Okay. And they've been doing a lot of stuff with taking existing medicines and putting them together to find cures for even like cancer. So let me just say this. When credible doctors start paying attention to repurposed medications, it's worth asking why. Dr. Harvey Risch, good friend of mine, and he was like Yale's top guy for global epidemiology, former professor of epidemiology at Yale and now serving on the president's cancer panel, is helping lead that conversation. New groundbreaking observational study from the wellness company analyzed the off-label use of ivermectin and mebendazole in nearly 200 cancer patients treated by licensed doctors across cancers like breast, prostate, lung, and colon. And the results are hard to ignore. What they found was that after 6 months, 84% of the patients experienced clinical benefit, including stable disease or stabilizing of the cancer, like it didn't get more aggressive, tumor regression, tumors disappearing, and no evidence of the disease at all. In some cases, the disease went away. This is not lab data. It's this is real-world patient experience. So, yeah, a lot more tests need to be run, to make sure there's cause and effect there. But 200 is a pretty good sample, and we're looking forward to seeing more. And Harvey Risch, chief epidemiologist at the wellness company, called it an exciting signal deserving serious scientific investigation and more accessible, lower-cost cancer care options. That is why the wellness company makes it easy to access ivermectin, mebendazole formula. They have a new formula where they've compounded ivermectin and mebendazole together using medications that are FDA approved for other indications and are being studied for additional use. It is doctor prescribed and USA compounded, meaning mixed together, designed to support patients exploring these emerging approaches to under medical guidance. Ordering is simple and fully digital. Just fill out a quick intake form, and a licensed doctor reviews it, and your prescription ships directly to your door. Head to dailyclouthealth.com, and use code DailyClout to save up to $60 off plus free shipping. And let me just say, I just ordered some antibiotics from the wellness company because I have a thumb infection. I cut myself the other day, but I went to urgent care. It was like $250 minimum, not counting the visit and the drugs. I'm like, screw this, man. And so I have a kit. I have the wellness company's, that's the blue kit, the emergency medical kit. And in that they have I think it's amoxicillin, and that's what you usually use for like topical type infections, everything. My thumb looks like it got hit with a hammer. And so it's on its way. And I already had a prescription set up with them from the emergency kit. The point I'm making is if you check out like the stuff that they have, and this way I like repurposed medicines, and I'm glad it's the wellness company because you got to be careful. You know, there are some companies out there. There's one big online pharmacy that a lot of these MAGA personalities are promoting, but they get their ivermectin from China, from one of the worst factories in China that's been cited numerous times. So people, I can't say the name. My wife asked me not to because she doesn't want to get sued by them. So I'm not going to say who they are, but just listen to Liz Wheeler, Jimmy Dore, even Dan Bongino, who I like a lot. They're all promoting this one pharmacy company. And, you know, if you go over to consumerdiligence.org, you can see what we discovered about that company. Point is, you want like good doctors that were like smart through the pandemic behind what you put in your body. And that's why I like the wellness company. Peter McCullough, who's a legend during COVID and just in the medical community alone. Dr. Harvey Risch, you can check out all of their credentials. And remember, these were the doctors that were, people said they were crazy and they're conspiracy theorists. They tried to take Peter McCullough's license away. And let me just pop this on the screen for you guys. I really like this company. And I know these guys, but I know them through the products, and then we all became friends. And I'm just really proud to like promote them. And yes, I do use all of their products. Not all of them, but yeah. So this is the wellness company, but here, there we go. Yeah, so I got this medical emergency kit. And what's great about the medical kits is a lot of the stuff that is coming out in these studies. We talked about mebendazole and ivermectin. Well, a lot of it is in these kits that have other things. So let me show you this one because it's my favorite kit. So this one this is the medical emergency kit, and it has ivermectin. It has, here's all the stuff it has. Yeah, so doxycycline for tick bites, which is huge. They got the Z-Pack, amoxicillin. Oh, maybe I was wrong. Okay. So everything you need, and there's lots of it in there. What's nice about this kit is that it's, you know, it's got everything. Like we keep this in the car with us normally, but I didn't bring the car this time because you're going to need one of these things, ladies and men. So, and that's what I like about all of these kits. Like they all make sense. They're smart. They're not trying to push one thing that's just a fad. These guys know what they're doing, and I'm very, very impressed by this company. I always have been. And then here, and they have, so that Peter McCullough, who I was talking about. If you don't know who Peter McCullough is, definitely go back and see who one of the heroes against mandates and against, you know, certain injections. This is the guy. He's incredible. And then Dr. Harvey Risch, of course, is wonderful. I got to put him up now because I don't want him to feel left out. Yeah, so there's Harvey Risch, Dr. Drew, of course. You probably know his show. This is one of the smartest men I know. Okay, and he's, you know, I was fortunate enough, he's been to my house. He's a great shot with an AR-15 too. Dr. Drew, we know very well. We're on his show a lot. He's great. And Peter McCullough, he endorsed several of my wife's books. They're really good friends. These people all know what they're doing. Oh man, James Thorpe, I forgot he was there too. He's another friend of ours, but I trust all of these people. I met them through my need for their advice. And so with this kind of team promoting things, and there's the founder, Foster Coulson, Peter Galuli, he's the CEO. It's great. Anyways, they're all great people. But do check out the products, and you can see it right there. Go to dailyclouthealth.com, use the code dailyclout, and save $60 off your order, and you get free shipping, and they have really, really good customer service. You won't be sorry. They have a really good sleep aid too, but I won't get into it. Oh, they also have the bison pills that's what I take for my multivitamin. Makes you strong like bison. All right, that's that promo. Now let's get back to what we're talking about. So, where were we? Yes, new scams. So I'm not going to go too deep into the news. I'm going to save the homeless one. I'm going to save the homeless one because that, I think, deserves its own episode. But let me tell you in a nutshell what I'm talking about. So that's so funny. Good call, Ernie. I think you're right. I think that lady just went out and bought some stuff or probably mugged some little kid. Who knows? Oh, good for you, Donna girl. She got the cream last week. Which cream did you get? Which one? That's awesome. And then I'm not saying that's the company, Ernie. I'm not saying it. But yeah, that's I personally avoid a certain company with those initials, but that's up to you. Okay. But definitely check out some articles on consumerdiligence.org that my friend Dallas and several of the team over there really put together some good articles on a certain company that may or may not have the same initials that Ernie is posting there. Great. So, okay, I lost my train of thought. Where were we? Right. So, anyways, I'm doing this Citizen app. Let me see if I can call it up on the screen. So I started doing the Citizen app, and I don't know if you guys know it, but it shows you where crimes are popping up all around the city. Oh yeah, I think I can log in. Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna log in. You can see and you get tons of. It's funny too. You get like a ton of views. They're gonna let me log in here on the screen. I got to show you this though. So one thing about New York is there's stuff all over the telephone poles and on the walls and all these bills posted everywhere. And normally in Brooklyn, as you get closer to Park Slope, as I said earlier, there's a lot of like Marxist stuff. There's actually Maoist stuff. But then I saw this one that really, really caught my eye. Let me see if I got that code. Okay, 02. I'm just logging into the Citizen desktop. All right. Well, let me just share the screen so I can show it. And by the way, I know I'm promoting these guys, but I'm not. I'm certainly not. They're not a sponsor, I guess is what I'm saying. Let me share the screen with you. I think it's a really cool app, and it seems to be all over the country, mainly major cities. But all right. Okay, so this is the app I'm talking about here. All right, so see how citizens help others. So basically, it's really cool. They have like, you can report. You can actually go live, and like report on stuff you see. And because one thing about New York is that a lot of the police comms are encrypted, so you don't know what's going on. But that's kind of what it looks like on your phone. And again, these are not a sponsor. I just really like the app. I wonder if they can show. I'm logged in, but let me see if I can show you mine. Let me see, blog. No, I don't think they're going to let me. Yeah, I don't think they're going to let me show you mine. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. Anyways, point being, I saw this protest advertised, so I went and reported on it. And by the way, when you report on things, you actually get paid. I made like $25 on my dog walk the other day, so that was kind of cool. It's a cool app. I would check it out if I were you. And you can see what's going on. And so I reported on, I went out to this protest, and it was down over on Empire Boulevard and Bedford. And there were all these people protesting and outside the Ramada Inn. So I started filming it and put it on the Citizen app and got a ton of views. And it was nice to actually see a protest that wasn't like violent. It was actually a protest for the reason you're supposed to have protests. So what were they protesting? These citizens were protesting that the New York mayor and the homeless Department of Homeless, whatever, they closed down Bellevue, which was a major homeless shelter, like legendary. They closed it down, and then in lightning speed, they started renovating all of these hotels into homeless shelters. Here's the thing. the homeless shelters happen to all be clustered in Brooklyn, Staten Island, those kind of places, mainly working class neighborhoods. And so, I'm filming it, and I'm not a journalist when I'm doing this, so I didn't really mind kind of getting involved. But what happened was, I was talking to people. Hey, you want to talk to me? I'm just, kind of figuring out what's going on, and I live in the neighborhood that's being affected. And what I heard, and I'm going to save some of it for the episode, but what I heard was amazing. What's been happening, according to the lady I talked to, is that Mamdani basically came right from the desk that they could renovate all these hotels in these neighborhoods. Okay. And what happens is the same contractor, who happens to be Indian, same contractor is getting all the contracts to renovate these. Now, these contracts are hundreds of millions of dollars. And these hotels are relatively new. So what she was telling me, the lady leading the rally, is that what these developers are doing is they get the blessing from the city to build a hotel. And then they build the rooms extra small. And then because it's helping homeless people, then they they get to convert it to a homeless shelter, and then they're getting all their funding from the city. And they're making like a couple hundred per night per bed. Once these things are, what do we call it, renovated into a homeless shelter. So you can see there's an advantage, if what this lady was saying is correct. There's an advantage to converting to a homeless shelter because you're guaranteed this money. Okay. Now, I just started this investigation, so I don't have a ton of stuff on it for you. But what I did do is they brought me in, and they were a little skeptical at first. So I was like, no, trust me, I live here. I'm not trying to just get a good story. I really want to investigate this because we live here. I don't want a homeless shelter. A bunch of homeless shelters right near us. It's terrible. And they're right near schools. They say there's going to be security. There's never security at these things. That's, and so I got to give it to these citizens. They, they're out there, they're protesting, and they actually got a pause on this. Just trying to find the map I made. But the point is, they shouldn't have to do that. Like, there's something really hinky going on here. There's something really hinky going on. Let me just put it that way. Where is it? And I was just kind of blown away that, really, just packing them in. Here we go. Oh, yeah, good. I found it. Excellent. Good. Wait. Brooklyn. There it is. So I'm calling this case, like I said in the thing, I share this tab in. So I made this. I got to work on some of the locations here. All right. So I call this one Shelter Skelter. I thought you'd like that. So, all right, here's Brooklyn. I made this map. I'm very proud of that. Okay, now not the locations are off a little bit, but you see what they've done is they have all these shelters. This is Brooklyn here, and they've moved a lot of the shelters from here down to here. Okay, now here you see, hotel development under construction on Atlantic Avenue. Super 8 by Wyndham Brooklyn, Fulton. Make it bigger for you guys. Newly constructed hotel now operating as shelter. So these brand new hotels getting converted to shelters. Don't you find that a little odd? Unbranded hotel on Sheffield, newly constructed hotel now operating as a shelter. And I went and by and checked all these things on foot. So they're building hotels, then instantly converting them to homeless shelters. Who does that? People that are getting a lot of guaranteed money. Okay, this is the Ramada, brand new Ramada, and if you go and read the reviews of this Ramada over on 169 Empire, people are like, there's all sorts of noise. It's like there's tons of people in the rooms. I think they're already using it as a homeless shelter. Okay, Flatbush Savings Bank, they turned into a homeless shelter. And then over here, the Red Roof Inn in Brooklyn, this should actually be up here, but that's okay. Homeless shelter. Now, we live in this area. What I want to find out is, why is the same developer getting all of these contracts? And why are these orders coming right from the mayor's office? Okay? And please jump in on this, scoop me, work with me, whatever. Especially if you're a New Yorker, but even if you're not a New Yorker, finding out how these little scams work, a lot of this is held over from illegal aliens. Now, it's a little interesting here in New York when I attend these things. It's not like attending something in the Midwest. Like here, there's people still feel the need to say, well, homeless people deserve this and that. I'm like, I don't think anyone deserves anything they don't earn personally. But you got to go along with it and everything. And they just won't, like, when I'm at these rallies, they just won't say anything bad about Mondami, which drives me absolutely nuts. But hey, it is what it is. The point is, I don't need it to be political. It's about community. And, here's the other thing. Almost forgot the most important part. What I was also told is that you get these contracts. It's the NGO called Renewal, something or other. Well, you get these contracts by your performance. Okay, so in homeless NGOs, they're rated on how many people they take in, but also how many people they get out of the shelters. That's seen as success. The thought being that you brought them in, got them on their feet, they're ready to go, they move on out, they start a new life, they're not homeless anymore. So they get rated on how many they take in and how many they get out. Well, what they're doing with this renewal.org or renew.org, whatever it is, this is crazy. They're taking people in at one location, right? And then in a few months, they get them out. But guess what? Then they take the same homeless people and they move them to another of their locations. And then they push people out the door. So they're getting credit like down the chain of these 5 locations in and out. So they're taking the same homeless people, moving them out and just putting them in another shelter. So then that other shelter gets credit for taking people in and then moving people out. Then they go to the next one and the next one and the next one. That's how they keep the funding coming. Because it's like, wow, look at the success of this renew.org or whatever it is. Like, they're doing great stuff. They're just bringing people in constantly and getting them on out. It's the craziest thing I've ever heard. And so I do need to verify a lot of this. I don't think she was lying, but I don't see the reason she would. They're very well researched, and I'm working with this group. They're fantastic. They're doing great research. No, they won't say anything bad about Mondami, but they all know it. That's fine. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, so unfortunately there's no sound, but just want to... So I actually put this on the Citizen app. And because really what I want attention on this. Here we go. Okay. I don't know if there's any sound on this, but we'll check it out. Yeah, no. All right. But you can see it. They want you to download the app, but it got 44,000 live viewers, which is great. And these are the people protesting, and I got the video on my action camera as well, so we'll get that out. Yeah. And so unfortunately, yeah, no sound. That sucks. But there we go. The report of protest went out, but it's a good protest. And if that's really happening, that's fraud. And if that's happening right under the mayor's nose with the people, oh God, ugh, Marjorie Taylor Greene, ugh, get hurt. Let me stop sharing. So if that's happening, it sounds to me like we got ourselves another Minnesota situation. Nick Shirley, I don't care if you want to come here and check this out. I don't care if you get all the glory. I just want it stopped. Because it's very dangerous to put a bunch, and they're all men too. That's the thing. These are men-only shelters. They don't advertise that way, but these are men-only shelters. and they're right near schools, right near elderly homes. And I took a walk down on Empire yesterday morning, and it's all like they've set up this ecosystem ready for this homeless shelter to come in. They've got all these new like therapist things set up, all these elder care things set up, all these like brand new like urgent care things set up. It's going to be bad. It's going to be bad if this thing goes through. And it's, please, audience, investigate one in your neighborhood or look for these things, but look for the same hotels that were used to house illegal aliens. And I think you're going to find these because they also use, what they've done is they don't call them immigrants. They call them homeless in New York. Okay. They don't call them immigrants. They call them homeless. I tested the waters with this the other day, and I could tell the attitude changed. So I dropped it because it's more important to get the information and get to work with people on these things. We all have the same goal. Okay. So check these things out. And remember, here's your incentive. Yeah, you can come on my late night show with, a couple thousand viewers, which is fine. We like our show. Or Scott Bessent, the Secretary of Treasury, they actually have like big whistleblower awards that they just set up as per, right after Nick Shirley's big Minnesota expose. And you can make money exposing these things. And it's a good amount of money. So look for these in your hometown because this is how they do many things. This is how they drop real estate costs. They drive down prices, but this is also how they pack voters into your area. Okay. This is how they do it. Okay. So be on the lookout for them. I will do a separate show on this. I'm trying to get some of the speakers that were at the rally to come on my show. A few have agreed. So that's good. But check these things out. Okay. One more. And then we'll go to our last topic. So I want to talk about My Primal Life. Okay. So My Primal Life, this is pretty cool. It's a good video too. So if you scan that QR code, it's going to bring you to a video. But My Primal Life, if I could get my notes wherever they went, there we go. So you've probably heard the headlines by now. RFK Jr.'s pharma audit team has been digging into some uncomfortable questions about common medications, including claims around Tylenol in neurological development. Now, regardless of where you land on that debate, here's the part that should make everyone pause. Multiple studies have raised concerns about acetaminophen, the active ingredient in Tylenol, and its effect on something called glutathione. Glutathione is your body's master antioxidant. It protects your cells, your brain, your nervous system from damage. And when glutathione levels drop, guess what? Your nerves don't fire the way they should. Signals weaken, repairs slow down. That's when people start feeling the burning, tingling, numbness. My cousin Ernie, he's an old guy like me, so he knows what I'm talking about. Kind of nerve pain that quietly takes over your life. And here's the bigger issue. Tylenol isn't the only thing that drains antioxidants from your body. Ultra-processed foods, environmental toxins, chemicals in hygiene products, those plastic scrubby things that you use every single day, like those buff pads, get rid of those. Don't use plastic because you're literally rubbing this crap right into your body. It all adds up. And most solutions for nerve pain, pills, cream, TENS machines, and so on. They try to mask the pain, but they don't replace what your nerves are actually missing. The good news? There are specific minerals naturally occurring straight from the earth and reported on in NIH and peer-reviewed that help restore nerve strength, protect nerve cells, and calm the constant buzzing, burning, and numbness. Sorry. My mouse is going crazy. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to myprimal.life/investigate nerve to find out exactly what those minerals are, how they work, and why some people call them the miracle grow for your nerves. Because when your nerves get what they need, they don't just calm down, they power back up. And this is really cool because I've actually been taking this stuff. And really what they're talking about here is if your nerves are getting damaged, they're basically like branches, and they have these things between them called synapse. And as they get damaged or they get dehydrated or they just start withering, that gap gets further and further. Plus your nerves, if they get brittled, it hurts. And it's because a lot of these things in our everyday life that we buy, processed stuff, aspirin, everything, it strips away the natural protection that our nerves have. This helps rejuvenate it and get it back up. And you do feel the difference. You do feel the energy. It's an energy boost, but the brain fog is gone, everything. You're not trying to remember. I think with this particular drug from myprimal.life, this is going to be kind of a big direction for a lot of like daily supplements, especially as you get older. Okay, because if you're losing that stuff, we all thought it was just part of getting old. Well, it's not. You can come back, And so check it out. Scan the QR code. Watch the video. It's really good. If you don't want to watch the video, they'll give you the chance to click on the PDF and contact the company, get more information, or order their product. It's a good product, good company, great management. So enjoy. Go to myprimal.life/investigate nerve and check it out. The Miracle Grow for Nerves. Okay, final topic of the day. So we went to the hospital last week. And so my wife had routine surgery. I won't get into the details of that. It's not private, but that's her business. Routine surgery. And then we had kind of a scare. Like, this also kind of talks to my primal life. But she decided to spend the night. It's a great hospital, great doctors, really good. She had a view of the river. I mean, it's really nice. And then all of a sudden, I go back the next day, and it's freaking horrible. Like, this is like literally one of the worst moments of my life. Not the worst, but one of them. Hold on. So I go in. I drove up, parked the car, and anyone that lives in New York, everything is a pain in the ass. Got to get the car out in the morning of the garage, pay a fortune for getting it out. Then you had to drive all the way, and it's only like literally 9 miles, and it takes like an hour. So I go up the FDR, go to the hospital, park my car again, make my way through the hospital, get to the room she's in. She said she's ready to rock, and I'm like, okay, good. I get up there, man, and there's no one in her room, and they're putting the sheets and stuff in a bag, and I'm like, hi, is Naomi Wolf in this room? And the lady cleaning it, she looks at the ground, she goes, you need to talk to the desk. I'm like, what the? So I go to the desk, and they all look, they won't make eye contact with me, and I'm like, oh my God, did my wife die or something? Like this, it's just setting in on me. What is going on? Like, she was fine. It was like one of those movies, right? And so the lady says, the attending nurse, the head nurse at the desk, she goes, oh, let me talk to you over here. I'm like, no, you can talk to me right here. Like, what is happening? Well, she wasn't dead, thank God. Whew. Man. But what had happened is they had a scare based on, in a nutshell, some of the after effects of the anesthesia appeared the same way symptoms of a stroke would appear. Okay, so they had to rush her away to another hospital. I went with her, finally caught up with her. Turns out she was good, but they still had to watch her for observation because, anesthesia plays tricks on different people. But that's what happened. So we ended up being at the hospital all week. That's why neither of us were really available last week. She's fine. No stroke, no aneurysms, none of that. Man, tons of CAT scans and good care. I got to give it to Presbyterian Hospital and, Hospital for Special Surgery. They're both adjoined. Fantastic care. I cannot complain. And she was fine. She was fine. Thank God. So, that's kind of what happened there. Well, in the course of getting, she got discharged from HSS and then, taken into the neuro hospital. And So our discharge instructions from the original orthopedic type surgery she had got lost in the shuffle because they technically just transferred us and discharged us. So I'm exhausted every day. I'm driving home, and I get this call from this VNS, like visiting nurses, I think, but basically they say they're the VNS. These people say they're the the physical therapists for my wife's recovery. I don't even question it, and I consider myself a good investigator. But you know what? Like, I just figured, okay, she made, this was referred by the doctor. Well, let me tell you guys something. These people. So they said, oh, we were referred by your doctor. I didn't even think to ask, oh, well, who are you? What's the doctor? I was like, well, yeah, just call me later. Yes, she needs physical therapy. That's fine. And so they show up the other day, and Naomi, thank God, man, her instincts were firing. So we'd been home now for, this is like Friday they showed up. Okay, we got home Thursday. So they show up. This guy shows up. He seems fine enough. But then, she's going painstakingly through the forms. She just won't sign them. And they're asking for stuff like, who's your power of attorney and all this? And she's like, I don't like this. I'm like, I don't like it either. And the therapist kept stepping out into the hallway of our apartment to talk to his main office. Now, in hindsight, it's kind of weird, right? Like, what's the secret? Okay, well, let me show you what I found. So basically, VNS Health, and this is going to be another episode we're going to do because I'm going to actually set up some physical therapy and try to catch these people. Look what we found. VNS Health. So finally, she goes on, and then they have this other section where you would be authorizing them to VNS Health to basically charge your insurance up to $10,000. And she just, thank God. I mean, she's just like, no, we're not going to do that. And finally, we had to tell the guy, hey, bro, bye-bye. Well, just do a quick search on this VNS Health and look at some of the things you find. And this is why it's important to investigate everything, and I'm glad she did. I didn't. I'm glad she did, and she was on it. So this is 2024. U.S. Attorney announces settlement of civil fraud lawsuit against VNS Health and related entities for billing for services they failed to provide. Defendants will pay nearly $1 million, but this is one of many. So basically what happens is they do this. They get these people. They're coming out of surgery, okay, and VNS Health, they show up, anesthesia still, people are on oxycodone, whatever. And they're like, hey, just sign here, here, and here. And then you're signing basically for them to know who your power of attorney is. In some cases, people have signed their power of attorney to these people. And you're also authorizing them to bill your insurance $10,000. Now, these visits are like $300 each. They're going to come like 6-7 times. Okay? And there's all sorts of other things these people are doing. Not even providing care. Like, they get them to sign that, patients to sign the thing, then these poor people are waiting for physical therapy, which never shows up. And it's all in the initial intake forms, which we have copies of. Everything from psychiatric visits to assessments. I mean, I don't even know if this guy was licensed as a therapist that showed up. I asked for his credentials on the way out. He couldn't find them, supposedly. So be careful what you're signing when you come out of the hospital. Make sure that these are the people your doctor recommended. These were not the people. How they got our number, I don't know. My guess is that they have an insider at one of these hospitals. And I think these are great hospitals, but they're big hospitals. Okay, somehow they get these numbers and they call these patients and they get them to sign away sign away a bunch of things, sometimes even their power of attorney. Thank God Naomi Wolf was on the case, because I certainly wasn't. I was just like, signing to get the therapy, but she was smarter than that. So we're going to do an episode on this. If you have cases like this, if you have situations that you're familiar with here, please send them to me, brian@dailyclout.io. I am investigating these people. And anyone that wants to help, if we get any of that Scott Besson money, we'll split it. But the most important thing is that there's some old lady, some old man, they're sitting there waiting for their physical therapy. They don't have a partner or a spouse, or all alone, and they're getting ripped off, or worse. Someone's coming in their home that might do horrible things to them. We just don't know. I will tell you, when Naomi got on the phone with the main office, they're telling her stuff like, it's a legal document. Naomi's like, it's a legal document if I sign it. Let me line out these things here. They're like, no, you can't do that legally. Naomi's like, I know what a legal document is. This is what I do. You don't know what you're talking about. But these people, right away, there's just certain things like that didn't fit. Like, Hospital for Special Surgery, if you look it up, it's like one of the top hospitals in the country. Like, it's a privilege to work with a hospital like that if you're a company like VNS. And so there's a certain level of decorum, I'm sure, that should come with that relationship. And VNS, it sounded like a bunch of thugs outside in a van, like pretending to be in office. I'm not kidding you. So that set even my alarm off. So thank God we got them out. And, it's one of those things. Don't be afraid to take all the time you need to go through those documents. God knows, man, we could have been drained of our accounts, power of attorney. Who knows? Thank God she reviewed all those. So if you have situations like this and you need help investigating them, I can't promise to do a full investigation, but I will assist if you've taken the initiative to investigate on your own. Or if it relates to this and you got some good documents for me, send them over. brian@dailyclout.io. Point of this show is that we all investigate everything. So, yeah, that's right, Donnie. Messed with the wrong people. Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. And actually, on the homeless thing, yeah, whack-a-mole. They stopped federal money. No, they didn't stop the federal money. They're getting federal money somehow. Whack-a-mole with the homeless Ernie. That's funny. So anyways, yeah, they did. And I'm not going to let this one go. And, they wasted our time. But again, like, you see them, like, especially in the city, you see, like, people out there in walkers, and people are all alone. Or don't have anyone, or just don't have time. They might have 3 kids, and they need to get on their feet, get back to work, feed those kids, and they're getting taken advantage of. These companies here, this is a huge, huge network in New York, okay? And they've already been sued by the city. I think it was $57 million for that lawsuit. So if these guys are operating, any politician I can tie them to, I'm going to, okay? And with your help, we are going to, because this kind of fraud needs to be shut down immediately. So we got this, we got the Renew people as well we're looking into, and Renewal. I'll get it all up, because we're going to do a separate episode on VNS. We're going to do a separate episode on Renew. And I'm just going to get on here and do these from now on, like tonight, because I can't always do a finished episode. It just takes too long. I think it's important to get you the information instead of me taking 3 days to prepare like the perfect presentation. I'll save the perfect presentation for the Substack, which you can subscribe to for free, and get that information out. I think it's important to get it out, and now's the time, because the way I see it, like, if we lose the midterms, meaning if America loses the midterms to the Marxists, we're going to we're not going to be able to do anything against this type of predatory behavior. And now's the time to do it. And I want that to happen. So the homeless and the visiting nurse services. If you got stories on either one of those, doesn't matter what town you're in. And remember, if you're looking at the homeless stuff, look for the Wyndham Hotel branch. And also go to tent.org. and look up the tent partnership or look at my past episodes on the tent partnership, you're going to see a lot of the hotel chains that were housing illegals are the same ones that are doing this conversion on the homeless scam, the shelter skelter, as I like to call it. So hats off to my neighbors here in Brooklyn who attended that rally and had a big victory by getting that thing delayed. But there's a lot of work to do. These people are not going to give up. So just keep watching. I'll be posting notes and, getting some Substacks up. And I want to know what's going on in your town too. So please keep us informed. Doesn't matter if you're big New York City or small Naples, Maine. You know what I mean? Let's find out what's going on so we can stop fraud at every location. And we can stop it literally. This is how you do it, okay? You take the lowest hanging fruit, you embarrass the crap out of them, you expose them, and you get that file to DOJ, your local DOJ, federal, whatever. Get it to the whistleblower hotlines. But you make sure the community that person lives in knows about their fraud, okay? And then you work your way up the chain. You don't work from the top down. I don't want anyone sending me some lead that says Bill Gates is giving money to... I don't care. I'm not going to start with Bill Gates and work my way down. I'm going to start with, Sammy, the frickin' fake therapist, and I'm going to get his license, and I'm going to work my way up because that's how you topple it. You don't kill a dragon by attacking its horns. You kill it by chopping off its toes and working your way up. And that's what we're going to do here, and we're going to keep on doing it. So, guys, it's been a great night. And wait, do we have a score? Ernie, we got a score if you're still there. Final score. Did the Knicks do it? Sorry, I just got to check. I got Hulu over here. I got to talk to my son because I did not tell him. Okay, where are we at? Did they win?
To cut it to 2, you put him back, and everybody else can stay beyond the three-point line, switch everything, and do not foul a shooter.
Well, and also, even if the Knicks hit a 3, they're going to have to go full court to get their next shot. So how quickly they can get that shot off and knock it down if they're able to, that's going to dictate their second opportunity because they're going to need to.
The Spurs have missed 7 free throws through the first 3 quarters, but you just saw before. Perfect from the line. Here when it mattered most, 10 for 10. Well, Knicks out of timeouts will advance the ball. They need a Larry Johnson 4-point play right now.
I got to do commentary through this because then it's fair use.
In 1999.
Okay.
Brunson. There's Larry in the building. I wonder if he's even said that himself right now.
No doubt. He's thinking about it right now. He's telling people, remember back in the day what I did in this spot.
Bridges, Anunoby, Towns, Brunson, Hart. Wemby will guard the inbounds. Tough sight lines for Josh Hart. Hart searching. Goes for 5 seconds. Bridges gets it. Turns, fires a three-pointer. Shot off the mark. Rebound deflected. Out of bounds. Nick ball with 2.1 remaining.
God, if the Knicks lose, you know what they're going to do? They're going to blame Trump.
Well, some of the crowd now heading for the
Watch
exits.
you mark my words.
Brunson looked like he was going to lob it. Nope. Anunoby, corner 3, fires away. Shot's no good. And the Spurs win. What a response from San Antonio.
Right.
They do it again.
Got to shut this off so I don't
An
get sued.
inspiring
All right.
road win.
All right, guys. It's been Brian O'Shea, Investigate Everything, and final score. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. There's more games. More games. It just means they didn't skunk them out. So that's all right. So final score there. Spurs got this one. All right, guys. I'll talk to you later. It's Brian O'Shea, Investigate Everything. And don't forget to follow the show on Rumble. And don't forget to follow me on X and follow all our shows at Daily Clout. They're great. dailyclout.io. You won't be sorry. And again, reach out to me if you got some good leads on those other things over at Brian at dailyclout.io. Have a great night.